Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Now in today's video we got another versus battle. We got Obito Uchiha versus Might Guy. Now this versus battle is luckily a pretty good one because both of these fighters have plenty of feats and plenty of showing to grab information from. So this should be a fun versus battle to see who will win between, you know, the taijutsu master versus one of the hacks masters of the show. So yeah, getting straight into it, I think we'll touch up on speed, just to evaluate both of these fighters' speed. And so starting it off, I really feel like for the most part, Obito does have Guy beat in the speed portion pretty much every step of the way, except for when Guy is in his 8 gates form. I do believe 8 gate Guy is stronger. I'm sorry, not stronger, but faster than, you know, any version of Obito, including Jubito. Yeah, I do believe he just flat out, he just has better showings, considering the fact that he was able to, even though Madara wasn't going full out and he didn't feel the need to use a limbo clone, he did stumble up a little bit and get caught off guard by Guy's speed and his Senko punches. So, you know, I do feel like that counts more in a feat towards Guy in his speed aspects than it does anything. And so it shows that he should be stronger. I'm sorry, I didn't mean stronger again. Faster than any version of Obito. Jubito predominantly talking here. Considering the fact that Jubito is just, for the most part, weaker than that version of Madara. At least I feel like it's fair to say he's weaker than that version of Madara. You know, you can argue it, but I think it's pretty obvious. But yeah, so in that portion, you know, Obito pretty much takes anything from 0 gates to 7th, and then then Guy takes anything above when it comes to speed. Now when it comes to characters, you know, intelligence wise, you know, I think giving full intel on this is very key, because I feel like Obito's ability should be, you know, hacked enough to the point where you will want someone to have full intel on him. So considering the fact that Obito already has full intel on Guy because he takes over the whole, you know, top of the leader for the Akatsuki, you know, he has all this intel on plenty of guys. You know, he knows all his stuff. He knows what he's getting himself into before he goes and does anything. So he's very intelligent on Guy, considering the fact that he was around when he was a kid. Pretty sure he knows of his dad's death when he was able to use the gates. You know, Madara even knew of the gates, and Madara taught Obito a lot. So yeah, Obito should have plenty of knowledge on Guy to know everything about him. Now Guy, on the other hand, knows nothing about Obito except for when they were kids, and that's very vague. So he's definitely gonna need to have full intel, considering the fact that you know, he's gonna need to know about this Sharingan and how it works. And when I do Rinnegan Obito, which even though he's in the thumbnail, I was more so going for the orange than Rinnegan than Jubito. So, you know, he needs to know about the Sharingan. He knows about the Rinnegan, so that's why that part doesn't even really matter. Since they've all fought pain, he has intel on how it works. He even just flat out said that he didn't want to use any of the Rinnegan abilities because he knew that all 3 of the people there knew how to counter them. So yeah, he basically needs to know about how Kamui works, which, even though you know how it works, it's still a pretty devastating ability to deal with. Literally, you can be in tension for up to 5 minutes if I believe correctly. So yeah, Guy's gonna have to outlast a lot of Kamuis. You know, that goes straight into hacks. You know, both of these characters are extreme hacks characters. You know, Guy just seemingly with each gate increase gets stronger and faster, and while Obito has his Kamui, which makes him extremely hacked, and in my opinion still the most hacked character in the show. So, you know, going into this fight, I do feel like Orange Mask Obito definitely does have, he has a hard time with Guy, more so is what I want to say. Simply because Orange Mask Obito, I feel like, even though there was no proven difference between the speed and the power difference, well, the power difference we all know came, but the speed difference between Orange Mask Obito and White Mask Obito, like, there isn't proven that there's a lot of difference in between both of these guys. So the only thing is, like, if I say that I feel that Guy gives Orange Mask Obito a hard time, it's kind of hard to not say he kind of gives White Mask Obito a hard time as well, considering the fact that the only substantial difference is a Rinnegan, and it's even debatable if he would even use it or not. So yeah. Also, we have to take into consider the fact that, you know, Guy probably is going to stick to 7 gate for most of this fight, considering the fact if he has full intel on Obito and he knows how dangerous the leader of the Akatsuki truly is, he's going to want to be in 7 gate. So he's already going to be draining himself a lot. Now, the thing about this is I feel that Obito is the type of opponent that could force Guy into the 8th gate every single fight. Because I feel that while Guy could give Obito a run for his money, because while Minato was able to kind of speed blitz Obito and, you know, dodge a lot of his Kamui attacks and actually tag him, while I don't feel like Guy is that strong, he still is fast enough to the point where, you know, Obito should have some troubles. But actually, now thinking of another point, Obito might not have those big of issues more than I think about it, because he was able to sneezily and easily grab Sasuke out of Inoki's particle style attack back up to the top before anybody in the room could realize this room is full of Kages, as we all know. And then he was able to simply dodge a point blank, looks like killer intent Raikage, you know, clothesline. So you know, actually, and I do feel like the Raikage does have Guy in speed, at least up until 8th gate. So, you know what? I might change what I said. I do feel like Obito does have the upper hand significantly now in any matchup, considering the fact that I just brought up that part right there. And I do feel like the Raikage is slightly faster than Guy when especially when he's going full out in his lightning cloak. Man, this makes it a lot harder on Guy. So, you know, now Guy has to simply find a way to beat around the 5-minute Kamui mark. And the biggest issue is 7 gate. We didn't really see a lot of it. I mean, we seen it fight a Samehada list Kisame, and we've seen it help fight off Biju, but that's about it. So I can't really give a whole lot of feats on how well he would do in 7 gate, because I don't think he would do that well. I think he's going to need to go in the 8th gate, and even then, that issue is you have to find a way that he would outspeed, which I do feel like if he goes in the 8th gate, he should beat Obito, because I do feel like his speed should be up there. Now the only issue is if this, considering the fact that Minato was able to teleport, grab orbs, and teleport back out in between Madara and Guy's fight before either one of them could notice or reach them, and it's the same Minato that absolutely destroyed Obito. So if you take that into consideration, then Guy might not be able to still beat Obito. Kamui might slightly still be faster. And that's simply because of the reaction time of Kamui. That's why I said I feel that Jubito is slower than 8th gate Guy, because Jubito doesn't have the supply and the usage of Kamui anymore. But Orange Mask and Rinnegan Obito both do. So even if they are outsped by Guy, his reaction time is pretty good, and he could always still have Kamui active. Especially if he know he's on the defensive end, he wouldn't unactivate it for no careless reason, unless he has some really smart strategical plan. So yeah, honestly, 8th gate Guy, it honestly depends, because now I confuse both Orange Mask and White Mask Obito together, because both of their arguments are going to be the exact same. Because even if Obito used the Rinnegan abilities, none of them should be stronger to ever phase 8th gate Guy. So now the thing about 8th gate Guy is he has to find a way to either just completely outspeed these dudes, which if he does, and he shows the feats that what he did against Madara, it is possible that if Obito tries to attack him and he can, you know, speed blitz and like Senko him or Night Guy, do anything of those sorts, he probably would destroy Obito. Because this Obito, while his durability is pretty good, yeah, Obito is definitely not going to survive of that. The same barrage of Senkos that he decided to give Madara should kill either orange or white mask Obito. And I'm pretty confident of that, because considering the fact that they just kept hitting back to back to back, like it didn't even give Madara time to react. Like Obito wouldn't have. I don't feel like Obito would have enough time to switch into Kamui in that period of time. But then that simply, you know, could be false, because Kamui was not discreetly broke down. So it is possible that Obito could be in the middle of those Senkos and then activate Kamui and then start phasing through things. But that's only if that's how Kamui truly works, which we couldn't tell or not, because it was never stated. So if you think Obito can still phase through the Senko's mid damage, then yeah, he probably would survive, and he probably would end up killing 8th Gate Guy, regardless if it's orange or white mask. Now, if you don't feel like that, which personally, I'm trying to think if it was shown or not, if he can activate it mid, like being hit like with a devastating attack or not. But right off the top of my head, I don't remember a time where this happened. So yeah, I'm going to lean more towards the side of Obito cannot do that. So I feel like if he does get outsped by a guy at some point in time, guy catches him like highly off guard, he probably would die, because he shouldn't be able to survive that many Senkos. Those Senkos are really powerful punches in the air, let alone it's going to take too long to charge up Night Guy, but even just punches from 8th Gate Guy should do enough damage to, Obito. Now, the only issue is Obito does have Izanagi, so he is able to get out of, he does have a get out of jail free card. So if he does use Izanagi, then he will come back. Now, Guy has to simply do it all over again. And if he's faster than Obito, then he's still going to be faster than Obito now. But then now Obito is going to use his head, and he's simply probably just going to make sure Guy just runs out of time and dies. So I feel like those are really our only scenarios. Basically, scenario one is Obito is still able to react to 8th Gate Guy because of how intact Kamui is and how good his reaction time is. He's still able to react to it, and he's able to at least stay defensive, and he end up just flat out running out of Guy's time. You know, he just goes defensive, runs Guy flat out of time. That's scenario one. Scenario two is Guy catches Obito off guard. He does a couple attacks to him. Obito probably end up almost dying, if not dying, and then he uses Izanagi, and then he comes back, and then he just flat out plays defensive. So then he still ends up winning, because Guy's gonna eventually drop. And I feel like those are basically our own two scenarios. Or, you know, you have the lucky third one where Obito gets, basically he forced to use Izanagi, and then he comes back, and instead of playing defensive, he decides to still go at Guy to try and kill him or something, and he gets caught off guard again, and he truly does die this time. So I feel like those are my two scenarios that I can see happening. And that's just me. A lot of people might think of it different, but I do feel like for the most part Obito does have more hacks and is able to get out of Guys, 8th Gate whole shenanigans a lot easier than a lot of characters. And Jubito, I kind of accidentally said it a whole bunch of times earlier, but I do feel like 8th Gate Guy is stronger than Jubito simply because he can't use Kamui. I do feel like that is the big thing separating Obito from losing and winning to Guy is Kamui. His Sharingan ability plays way too much of a factor into this. A bigger factor than any other Sharingan user we've seen to date. I feel like Obito's Sharingan is by far the one that factors into his fighting skills the absolute most. So yeah, I do feel like Jubito loses, but every other time I do see Obito somehow sneakily winning, except for that one scenario where Guy just catches him off guard twice, or speed blitz him, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I think that's gonna wrap up this video right here. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please be sure to leave a like and comment down below, and hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed your stay. And I'll talk to you guys in the next one.